So I've done a number of location videos, analysis video in the past 6 months. I've talked about Alaka, I've talked about Abijo GRA, I've talked about Ikeja, Ikeja with the new Oakville bridge. So today we'll be doing another location analysis video, and this time we're talking about Surulere. So the Surulere real estate markets, there's quite a lot of noise about Surulere right now. Flinx Realty have been doing a lot of projects. Leeds 1, Leeds 2, Wells 1, Wells 2, Bristol, and so on and so forth like that. Am Realty also did a project there. Megamound also did a project in Surulere too, the Lagos County. Safola Jomi also did a project too in Surulere. So there are quite a lot of urbanization happening in Surulere already. You know, I talked about urbanization in one of my previous episodes, and someone was telling me there's nothing like urbanization. I just laugh. You know, sometimes people are going to be arrogantly ignorant. Just go to Google, type what is urbanization, you see it there. So there's a lot of urbanization happening in Surulere right now. So, and places like Bode Thomas, Adeniran Ogunsanya, Ogunlano Drive, Akirele, Iponri, Alaka also. There are quite Masha Kilo, quite a lot of projects, a lot of short-let apartments, a lot of apartment building going on in all these places. So we want to talk about the markets. I also want to look at places around the outskirts of Surulere. We want to look at Ijesha, Aguda, Itire, Lawanson, Mishaga. You know, we also want to look at the markets down to Ilasa. We want to look at the markets around this extension to what is happening there. How is the spillover of Surulere happening in this location? What's the market like here? What's the opportunities like here? And I started going into Surulere markets at like 2 years, like 2 years now, and I almost understand almost everywhere in Surulere right now. So, so I can say yes, I understand Surulere markets. All right. So in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, welcome to meet the Property channel, and this way we discuss real estate for newbies, for institutional investors, for hardened investors, and for frightened investors too. We created this channel for all of you. And what's the mission behind this channel is we simply want to make Nigeria real estate more transparent. We want to ensure that every deal, every offer, every contract that you are signing into that is a property deal, you have absolutely 100% knowledge about that deal, about that offer, both in terms of the returns and also in terms of the risk. That's just what we create this channel for. So we just don't want you to understand the returns only. We also want you to understand the risk about the market and know 100% what kind of market that you are going into. Right? So if you have a deal you have done, you have a deal that you are about to do, and you want to understand that offer, that deal, that investment, that model, as long as it's real estate and as long as it's Nigeria related, you are at the right place. So after watching this particular video, I have other videos about shortlets, about land banking, about Chevron, about Ikeja, about Lekki, about Ekpe, about Ibejuleki that I've done. So kindly click on any of those playlists, watch the episodes there. I'm very, very certain that you are going to be wowed, and you are simply going to wish you have been on this channel months or years earlier. All right. So if you have been following us, you've been watching our videos, you've been enjoying our content, thanks so much for that. Thanks so much. You guys are the reason why we are always coming here to do more. If this is your second video, 5th video, 10th video that you have been watching and you have not subscribed yet, I definitely want you to subscribe. That's one of the ways that you can say thank you for us. Thank you for us making this free. Thanks for making this information available and accessible for everyone. So kindly subscribe to our videos. If you are subscribed already, you can go a step further to turn on the notification button so that you don't miss these videos. If you have subscribed for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, and you don't know what we do, you don't know our offering, you don't know our services, just have an Instagram page I always attach to these videos kindly open your Instagram, go to at installment homes NG, and then you are going to see everything that we have available currently, and then we can discuss about how you can tap into some of them. All right, so let's talk about Surulere, the Surulere real estate markets. What's the market like in Bode Thomas, in Adeniran Ogunsanya, in Ogunlano? What's the market like in Ijesha, in Cele, in Lawanson, in Aguda? What are the opportunities? What are the things that you can invest in? What was the returns like? And also, what's the demand? Or more so, what are the factors that are driving real estate demand around Surulere? All right, this year is the year of Surulere. There's been a lot of attention, a lot of hype, and a lot of noise around Surulere this year. Although that's entire attention started around like 3 years ago, when a number of developers dared doing apartment in Surulere, particularly for short lets, and since second half of last year, a lot of investors start believing that Surulere can also deliver very good cash flow, but this year we had the boom. Basically, so it's high time for me to now discuss about the Surulere real estate market, and some people did not spend their life in Lagos, although they are investing in Lagos. Some people were in Lagos, but they are not really familiar with Surulere. So let's talk about Surulere. Let's talk about the real estate market here. What was the short let like here? What was the rental market like here? What was the value of properties like here? What are the kind of opportunities in Surulere? Now, Surulere have a lot of access, a lot of entry point and a lot of exit points. So from the Apapa Oshodi Expressway, you can enter Surulere either through Ilasa or through Mushin or through Cele, through Cele Ijesha. You can also come in through Surulere. Then you can also come in through Surulere via the popular Ikorodu Road. That's after Fadegi. Then we have Ojuelegba. Then right from Ojuelegba, you can follow the Tire Road, and via the Tire Road, you can get to either Lawanson or exit at Ogunlano or exit at Rando into proper Surulere. Then you can also still follow the Ikorodu Road down to around Stadium and enter Masha to what's this place again? Masha to Daogunlano Bridge, or to Akerele, or to Adilabu, or to Bode Thomas, basically. So if you are also coming from the island, you are coming from CMS, you can also enter Surulere via the Eco Bridge. This is Eco Bridge here. You can also enter Surulere via the Eco Bridge. Either from the Eco Bridge, either you go into Iponri or connect back to Ikorodu Road and then enter Alaka or any other place that you are going. So that are quite very, very interesting routes in and out of Surulere. So it's also one of the very nicely accessible place in Lagos where you can exit and enter via different routes. All right, now Surulere also share boundary with some common part of Lagos. This is Mushin here. So Surulere shares some boundary with Mushin. Surulere shares some boundary with Fadeyi. Surulere share some boundary with Cele, Ijesha. Although some people will still count Ijesha as Surulere, but that's already outskirts of Surulere anyway. Then the popular Ojuelegba, where we have the National Theatre. So you can see that this is Idumota markets. This is Ijora, and all of them still have a straight access to Surulere. So Surulere serves both as a residential hub and a commercial hub, because it has access to like almost the business part of Lagos and as well as the residential part of Lagos. Ijora is industrial. Idumota is highly commercial. The same thing with Oyingbo. Oyingbo too is highly commercial. Is business and market that are there. So easily people can the people working there or have business there can easily be around Surulere, as well as the people with businesses in Yaba, either around Sabo or around Alagomeji, can also be in Surulere too. The people with businesses around around Onekpan, Palm Grove, and Tony, who are working there, who have their offices there, can also be in Surulere. So let's talk about the core Surulere. So I'll be differentiating the outskirts of Surulere with the core part of Surulere, because just like we have main Lekki and Lekki phase 2, let me put it that way, we also have main Surulere and outskirts of Surulere. So if we are talking about main Surulere, then we are talking about places like Ogunlano Drive. Where is Ogunlano here? Let me put it on the map. Ogunlano Drive. Yeah, Ogunlano Drive. So those are like the exclusive highbrow Surulere itself. This is Ogunlano here. So we have access to Ogunlano via Itire Road if you are coming from Ojuelegba. We have access to Ogunlano via Masha if you are coming from Stadium. This is Alaji Masha Road. So we have access to Ogunlano via Masha. We have access to Ogunlano via Cole Street. That's via Ikate Surulere. So we also have Ikate in Surulere. So via Ikate Surulere, we have access to Ogunlano Cole Street. If you also pass Randu to Akerele, so from Akerele also you can connect to this Akerele. So this Akerele you can also connect to Ogunlano. So all these places are highbrow Surulere, really. So the price of properties here are always more expensive than outskirts of Surulere. So for example, what the property is selling in Ogunlano, or what the property is selling in Akerele, or what the property is selling around Masha or Bode Thomas will be higher than what a property will be selling around Lawanson, around Itire, around Ijesha. All those places are outskirts Surulere, or even Ojuelegba. Ojuelegba is called Surulere, but is business. Is more of like this Ojuelegba here, this Ojuelegba flyover bridge, Ojuelegba. So from Ogunlano now you can pass the Itire Road to Ojuelegba and then connect back to Ikorodu Road to face Maryland or to face Anthony. So Ojuelegba too is called Surulere, but his business is busy. So because of that, it affects the property value there. But Ogunlano is classy, is highbrow, is residential. There are businesses here too because there are a number of commercial here. Old English bread, and a number of very nice stores and new supermarkets there too. So Akerele, Ogunlano, Bode Thomas, Adelabu, this Adelabu here. Adelabu is also highbrow Surulere. Linking to Aguda. Adelabu links to Aguda. So Aguda is the extension or the outskirts Surulere. Adelabu is the core or the main Surulere. Ogunlano is the core highbrow Surulere. Ikate, Lawanson, that the outskirts of phase 2 Surulere. Let me use that word. Akerele, Randul Avenue, they are the core and highbrow Surulere. Then while Ojuelegba down to Fadeyi via Coast Street, they are like not really the core Surulere, but those places are like becoming expensive. And a number of development companies are like focusing on Surulere right now. Even Safolajomi, the popular real estate head on Egged on Instagram, also did a project in Surulere, and they did a very nice project there, and they get very good return for also their investors, both people that bought it on off plan or people that are even doing short let there, they are getting very good bookings. And that's one thing I want people to understand about Surulere. Compared to some places on the island, Surulere already have what we call an existing market. There's an existing market for short let here, existing market for rentals here, existing market for businesses here, existing market for malls here, existing market for hotels here, existing market for retail store, retail shop. So whatever type of real estate that you want to do around here, schools, whatever type of real estate, children parks, restaurants, whatever type of real estate that you want to do, there is an existing, is a plug and play. You open it, people start patronizing you instantly. Compared to maybe you can do a project in Mogije, or you can do a project in Eleko, or you're going to do a project um, in a putu, and you start waiting for that demand to come to that place. Surulere is not like that. The demand is plug and play. Even if you do a project in the outskirts, not even the core. So when I say outskirts, I mean you do a project in Ijesha, you do a project in Lawanson, you do a project in Lere, you do a project in Ikate Surulere, either around Cole or around Oduduwa, or you do a project in Kilo, or you do a project in Aguda. So all these places I'm talking about, they are outskirts, they are not even the core Surulere. There is still an existing market there. The only difference is just that you not be able to charge the core Surulere price, but you are still going to get demand. You are still going to get patronage, and this is why Surulere is attractive. So we have flinx, who have been doing projects in Ojuelegba, Ikate, Lawanson, Kilo, in Surulere, and that still getting very good patronage, either for their short let or for their build to sell. Am Realty also did 2 projects in Surulere. Edala is also doing a project in Surulere right now around Adelabu or Adelabu Aguda. So, like I said, this bros, Safalajomi, also did a project in Surulere, build to sell. I think at some point they even wanted to do a 2.0 of that project, and I believe within the next 1 year they're going to do another project in Surulere too. So Megamound has built Lekki County, Carlton Gate. They also did a very nice project in along Itere Road, Michael Ogun Street. They did Lagos County there, did around like more than 200 units of houses there, 1 bed, 2 bed, high rises. So, and they still sold it, like, and the estate is active right now. People that are doing rental is doing rental, the people that are staying is staying, the people that are doing short let are doing short let there. So that's the nice thing about Surulere. You know, it's a plug and play market. Either it's hotel, either it's restaurant, is a park, is a hub, it's whatever that you want to do. Is a showroom, is commercial, is residential, is short let, whatever that you want to do is a plug and play market, because there is already an existing market for it. There's already an existing demand, and it's plug and play. And that's because Surulere has always been highbrow. So it's not like maybe it's an emerging location. No. Around the early 2000s, if you are a big man and you are staying in Lagos, if you don't stay in Ikeja, you stay in Surulere. Even if you don't stay in Surulere, you are going to have a property in Surulere. So Surulere have always been a highbrow part of Lagos, even till now. Rent is not cheap in Surulere. As some part of Bode Thomas, you are going to see 3 bed for rent 9 million, 8 million, 10 million for rent. You know, some part of Ogulano Drive, they're selling a bungalow on like maybe 400 square meter for 250 million. A house that is certain that they are going to demolish, 250 million, 300 million in Ogulano. The same thing with Adeniran Ogunsanya. Yeah, that's one part of Surulere I've been trying to remember since. Adeniran Ogunsanya. So let me show you Adeniran Ogunsanya. So this is Masha. This is Alhaji Masha Road, and this is Adeniran Ogunsanya here. So the shop right in Surulere is along Adeniran Ogunsanya, and Adeniran Ogunsanya leads to Bode Thomas. So along the Bode Thomas road, we have Iponri, high class, highbrow Surulere. Iponri now, they're selling duplex in Iponri right now at 300 million, 400 million, even 500 million if it's a fully detached at Iponri. You know, because there are some very nice estate there. I think Iponri has a GRA. So there's also a lot of LSDPC housing estate in Surulere. There's LSDPC housing in Iponri. There's LSDPC housing in Akirele. I think there's another one extra LSDPC housing. So these are also places that you can look at, because houses in LSDPC estates are slightly cheaper than usual. And that's because most of these houses are not ensuite, and that they are not built at modern design, but they are upgradable. So you can buy maybe a 3 bed at maybe like 90 million or 80 million if you see a distress, upgrade it, and the value can go, you can start charging like almost 8 million 7 million, 9 million rent on that particular property once you upgrade it. So Bode Thomas, Adeniran Ogunsanya, these are also highbrow Surulere. Adeniran Ogunsanya right now, if you want to buy a building here, buy to demolish, 250 million, 400 million, buy to demolish. So I always find it a bit funny when people assume that the only part of Lagos where properties are expensive is on the island. You price properties in Adeniran Ogunsanya very expensive, and they are bungalow 250 million, 400 million. Even if you see bungalow 450 million in Adeniran Ogunsanya, because it's highbrow Surulere, and most of the sellers have already assumed that you are going to be demolishing it anyway, so they are not really selling the building, they are selling the land it's sitting on, basically. So Adeniran Ogunsanya, Bode Thomas, Alhaji Masha, down to Akerele, down to Ogunlana, these are the highbrow Surulere. Then Iponri. So, but if you are talking about Ikate, Itire, Lawanson, Ijesha, Aguda, these are like the outskirts Surulere. So let's talk about the market at the outskirts Surulere. So in the outskirts Surulere, which are Ijesha, Aguda, these places also you can position there, because these places they are making sense. I've seen a business model around Itire where an investor just go around Itire, around Mushin, around Aguda. They just go to some street there and buy all these demolishable buildings, all these old face me and face you, buy them at 80 million, 90 million, demolish them, fence it, and immediately they are flipping back at 130, 140, they are already making like around 20 to 30 million naira profit. Even sometimes they'll just chase out the tenants. They will not even demolish, they just chase out the tenants and put a barricade, and they flip at 20, 25 million naira extra. They don't do anything, any improvement on the property. So they just hold 6 months, 7 months, they are flipping back at the market. Very interesting, and they are doing that, being able to flip 4-5 times a year, different properties. So we have Ijesha, we have Lawanson, we have Aguda. So there's an interesting market around these places too. So people that cannot play the core Surulere can come to this location, and you already have developers also coming to this location. This Lawanson here, this is the Oshodi Expressway. So this expressway is that highway if you are coming from Charity, or you are coming from the airport and you not face Oshodi, but you face this other side that leads to Apapa. So this highway you can exit at either Okota or Cele, and then come into Surulere. There. So we have Lawanson, we have Ijesha, we have this additional is where we have urban suit rather, by Edala. So we have Ijesha, we have Aguda. Aguda is also one place that you can also position. So the price of properties in these places are cheaper than core Surulere, but people are already coming here, particularly if you are looking at doing development, which means that you want to build to sell. So if you are looking at, instead of spending 500, 450 million to buy and demolish in Adeniran Ogunsanya or in Ogunlana, you can bring 150 million or 160 or 180 or even 130 to Aguda, and also get a buy and demolish, and do maybe 6 units of apartment or 5 units of apartment or 8 units of apartment, depending on how many floors that you are going. So Aguda, Ijesha, Itire, Ishaga Road, that's that road that goes to Lut, that goes to Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, that goes to Lut. That Ishaga Road. Ishaga Road is not really classy, that road, because some part of that road is very rowdy, so it's affecting property value. So Ishaga Road also is another place that you can position at, like outskirts of Surulere, or let's say Surulere extension. So for short lets, for example, a lot of people would prefer to be at the core Surulere, like places that have access to Masha, Adelabu, Akerele, Ogunlana. So these are like the core. So short let around these places, we get higher occupancy, and you can also charge a higher rate per night compared to maybe Kilo, Ikate, Aguda, you might not really get the same occupancy like Ogunlana or Akirele, but you still get relatively very good occupancy too, particularly if you have a very good advert budget and you have a very good manager managing, that is an experienced manager that is managing that shortlet for you. You can also still get relatively around 14 days booking per month, and in the peak season you still get like very good bookings too. Now if you are staying in Surulere currently and you are renting, you are staying in a rented apartment in Surulere, within the next, if you are staying in Ikate, Ojuelegba, Itire, Ijesha, and it's not a new building, it's very likely within the next 3 or 5 years they will sell your house. They will sell that house that you are staying. As long as that building was built maybe around 2004, 2013, it's likely within the next 3 to 5 years they will sell that house. So you should be planning to likely leave that house within the next 3 to 4 years. But if you don't leave, they will even sell it anyway, and they will evict you guys. Now, if you are staying in Surulere and you are renting in Surulere, just know that Surulere is one of the places in Lagos with the highest rental appreciation. Rent is increasing crazily in Surulere. At some point, we're renting out room self, newly built room self in Surulere for like 700, 750. Just within 3 months, it went to 1 million. Right now, in Surulere, nobody will rent their new room self less than 1.5. Even that 1.5 is because the interior is basic. If the interior is nice, people are already renting room self between 2 million to 3.5 million in Surulere right now. And one bed is already going to like 3 million, 4 million, 3.5 in Surulere. That's because a lot of people that even have one bed, they don't want to rent, they want to do short let instead. So the few people that want to rent, they are charging extra. So the same thing with two bed in Surulere right now. You are lucky, you see one at 3 million or 3.5, maybe at the outskirts of Surulere, or it's not a newly built house, or the size is not that big. But the one that is, the size is okay, the finishing is very good. You see them putting 6 million, 7 million for rent. So if you are renting in Surulere, have a plan B. Have a plan B, either look for an off plan to buy. So you can consider places like Ilasa, Itire, Kilo, and look at maybe, or Aguda, look at an off plan around that place where they can allow you to spread payment for like 9 months or 8 months and key into. If you know your power will not carry you off plan, look for a lease in Surulere and buy. Because this is it. If you are staying in Surulere and you are renting a place, within the next 3 years, the rent will likely go 30% or 40% anyway, or they even sell that house and you are looking for another rent. And if you are looking for another rent, you are paying another new rate. But if you take a lease, even if you are not staying in that lease apartment, maybe you take a 20 years lease or a 17 years lease, and that lease is giving you cash flow, you can add extra money to that cash flow to be paying your rent. And if your rent increases, you also have an apartment where you can go and increase your rent. There is one lease I bought in Kilo Surulere, mini flats. Likely at completion now, I'm looking at maybe around 2 million to 2.5 million. Let's say 2.5 million is what I'll be collecting as rent there. 2.5 million. So which means that if I stay in Surulere and maybe I'm staying in a 2-bed and my rent is maybe 4 million, I already have a property that is giving me 2.5 million, and I know that okay, I only have to add 1.5 million to this 2.5 million now to pay my rent. And if my rent go to 5 million, I can also increase that my own one mini flat to 3 million, and I know that it's just 2 million I'll add to these mini flats to go and stay there. And if I'm a young guy and I'm not married yet, I can easily just go to the 1-bed and go and cool stay there. And now I know that at least for the next maybe 3 years before I marry, or before I start having kids, I'm not paying rent, and the amount that I'm supposed to be paying as rent, I can divert that to expand my business or to even invest in other things. So that's really the opportunities that lease give you. You know, you either invest in lease for the cash flow so that you can be using that cash flow to be paying the rent of where you are staying, or you invest in it for leverage, because you know that, okay, I'm not paying rent for the next 5 years, or I'm not paying rent for the next 10 years. I can now use those funds I'm supposed to pay as rent to scale my business, or to diversify into other investments. At the end of the lease, I already have more money, because the rent I'm supposed to have been paying have given me higher yields than me giving it to a landlord. You know, so if you are staying in Surulere right now and you are renting, man, you are likely, if your income does not change within the next 3 years, you are likely have to leave Surulere and go and stay in another place, because there's so many new projects coming up. There are so many demolitions where people are building new apartments, new projects, and the rise of short let in Surulere right now means that there will be less available properties for rental. And if there are less available for properties for rental and demand is still consistent, prices are going to skyrocket. So Surulere have a very, very interesting interesting market. So depending on where you want to buy in Surulere, you want to know if you are playing the core Surulere, like you are playing Ogunlana, Adeniran Ogunsanya, or around Alhaji Masha, or you are playing the outskirts Surulere. Now, the outskirts Surulere does not really mean that you are not going to get value for your money. For example, the project that Sir Folajomi built is not called Surulere. The project is not in Ogunlana, and is not in Adeniran Ogunsanya, is not in Bode Thomas. That project is like you are already heading, is off coal. It's off coal in Ojuelegba. And that's one very interesting thing I've learned about Surulere within the last 2 years, because I've seen the project that flinx did at Ojuelegba, the Leeds 1 and Leeds 2. I've seen the Leeds Prime that they did very close to Ogunlana. I've seen the Walls 1 and Walls 2 that they did at Kilo and Ikate. And I've realized that in Surulere, you really does not need an amazing street or an amazing ambience. It all depends on what you offer in your own building, and you can demand the value 3 times or 2 times the value of what every other person is charging in that street. And that's what Sir Folajomi did with their project. I've forgotten the name of that project. They did in Surulere. That's their project is like the best in that entire road, in terms of the construction, the level of the compound, the finishing, everything. And they are charging the value of probably like Ogunlana or Iponri, despite that area is not asking for that price or is not asking for that value. So it's really interesting what you can do. So a street can be, every property in a street can be doing 2 million, and you can go there and do something amazing and you charge 4 million, and they will pay you, because it's still Surulere. And whoever that is paying you that 4 million still want to be around Surulere, but they want the value of what you are providing. So that's the interesting thing here. So you can do a project in Aguda and sell it for 150 million. People will buy it as long as what you offer there demands the value. You can do a project in Ijesha and sell it for 120 million. People will pay it as long as the interior and the finishing and the design that you did there makes sense. They will pay you. So which means you can do a project in Kilo and charge the value of Bode Thomas. It all depends on what you built. So, and a lot of developers are also realizing that anyway. So that's the Surulere market. And also Surulere also links to Yaba. So via this Jibowu under bridge, so you can connect from Surulere, from Cole via Ojuelegba, you can connect to Jibowu, and then from Jibowu you can connect to Muritala Mohammed Way, that road that goes to the train station and that goes to Alagomeji, that goes to Oyingbo. Then also via Ojuelegba here also you can connect to Teju Osho, and from Teju Osho also you can still connect to that same Muritala Mohammed Way, or from Muritala Mohammed Way you can even connect to Abat Macaulay Way. Also from Jibowu too you can connect to Abat Macaulay Way, which is that road that goes to Sabu, that goes to Onike, that goes to where again that goes to Third Milan Bridge also. So Surulere also connects to Yaba too. So we have people that are working in Yaba, either they're working around Alagomeji, working around Sabu, and they stay in Surulere, or they work around Sabu, they work around the Unilag axis, and they also stay in Surulere. So it still connects basically. All right, so if you have been wondering if there is something interesting there for you to invest, I've been doing Surulere since like almost 3 years. Yeah, I've had almost like I've sold like almost 6 7 different projects in Surulere anyway. So, and I still have a number of them in my portfolio. So I have a number of my clients that are earning from short let in Surulere, Leeds 1, Leeds 2, Crestview Prime, Crestview Lux, and then a number of projects there. And then I have a number of partnership around Surulere, to around Kilo, around Aguda, around Ijesha, around Itire. I've been posting a lot of these projects on YouTube Shorts and also on our Instagram page, so you can check it out, or you can just reach out to me, and I can also explain the market in Surulere better. Like I said, around Ijesha, Itire, Lawanson, even down to Mushin, you can just play around the buy and demolish. You can just play around the buy and demolish. 6 months, 7 months, you are flipping back. 6 months, 7 months, you are flipping back. It's a very, very interesting market. Not like it's risk free, but it has a faster liquidation, basically. All right. So, and again, because of the price of this property, also one interesting thing is we also have people that are coming together right now. So we can have a property on, like, let's say maybe 700 square meter or 600 square meter, a whole building. I can have two people that come together. They bring 50 million or 60 million or 70 million, and they buy the building and they demolish it and they share it. They split it into two. This person have his 300 square meter, another person have his 300 square meter, or this person have his 250 square meter, another person have his 250 square meter. If you are one, this one can do on 300 square meter. I have one of my guys. He did 4 units of studio apartments, 3 units of 1 bed, 2 units of 3 units, 2 units of 2 bed, all on a 300 square meter. So that's 2, 3, 5, 9 units of apartment on a 300 square meter. So it's Lagos. Land is scarce, land is premium, so people are maximizing space right now. So yeah, so you can come together with your friend, look for a buy and demolish, maybe around the Ijesha or Aguda or even Ogulano. Both of you can come together, buy it, demolish it, and just divide the land into two, and both of you have your 250 square meter, or your 200 square meter, or your 300 square meter, or 350 square meter, and you can decide whatever that you want to do with it. So that's also another way to also play the game. All right. So I still remain the number one property on the planet, your property and investor property consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks for watching our videos, and see you next time.